You had asked, how do you measure this?
Yeah.
Like this. I mean, this, what are you doing? Leadership, what are you doing about it? Talking about it. So you measure, again, a lot of organizations take a lot of pictures. It's fluff. It's pictures. But again, now when you get things like this, so what is leadership? What is Brian? What is Chris Turk? What are they thinking? And again, those public statements are now being measured going forward. The other thing, to answer Brian's question, there's events that happen. The pandemic, it happened. And I know everybody in the world thought everybody had access to broadband. I did. I said, well, everybody's got, everybody's. So then, schools and then underserved populations, when they were, you couldn't go to school and you got to go online, right? And I'm driving by and you see, 20 kids sitting out in front of McDonald's. And it's like in the rain, the curiosity to me is like, well, what are they doing there? Are they applying for? No, they're taking their classes. I said, well, they're taking their classes. That's the best broadband, So you saw the discrepancy where there was a population that if somebody said, well, just go online, like it was like just flipping a switch. No, So then you saw where there was gaps, right? And now, what drew me to a Bonfire, and again, it was Megan and her team had learned design because we had done some other stuff with them, is to hear what, Brian and Chris Turk, what they were talking about. And then what's different in my world is when leadership says, well, we think we got it all figured out, but let's go talk, we're going to go on a sovereign nation. Let's go talk to them and ask them what they need. And I was like, what? You mean somebody would actually, take the time, as opposed to, most industries, it's how we do it. And again, Brian alluded to, we've been doing this for 30 years. This is how we do it. So you go shove that down, and I don't mean shove, but you go, this is the way we do it, my way or the highway. But to have the empathy, have the courage, right? To go in and say, hey, you know what? What are you looking for? It's actually surprising, probably and Brian, I want to sit down and talk to him. I think you guys should write a book. It's probably really surprising to the people you were talking to. Like, man, who's this dude? Right? And then once you realize, okay, they mean it. It doesn't happen overnight. But once they say, man, these guys are for real. And then especially on a sovereign nation where they've heard it all, but guy, I'm just telling you, they've heard it all for centuries. So for you to say, okay, we're doing this, and then have them say, hey, we believe these folks, they're asking us to help us, and it's genuine. So that's when the ideas come up. That's when, again, their approach probably would be, they'll probably bring something up in a meeting that, has never thought of, right? Just like, after the initial shock, you go, wow, that was a good idea. That was a good idea. Don't know if it's possible, but that's when you start to get that friction that I call diversity, where people are coming to the table, not getting married, they're not going on a date, but they're saying, hey, we want to solve these things. And you see the greater good come out of that. So that's what drew me to Bonfire. That's what
How do you think?
That's what I do a lot. And to have that, and a lot of times it comes from the bottom up, but to hear leadership do that, that's what's different. So I actually tell other folks that I'm working with and there's some huge companies that can't get this figured out. I say, you know what, here's a company I'm working with, Bonfire. This, again, look at what their leadership is doing. Look at how they're modeling this. Look at how they're doing this. And I use Bonfire as an example. Okay, if you want to put a stake in the ground, this is how you do it.